Have you ever listened to a recording of your own voice and felt an odd jolt of disbelief? It doesn't sound like you, at least not the you that you hear every single day. It sounds thinner, higher, somehow less familiar, almost like a stranger borrowed your words. Yet everyone else insists that's exactly how you sound, without a hint of hesitation, as if the question itself is strange to them. Friends, family, even strangers on the phone recognize your voice instantly, matching it to your name before you've even said who's calling. So, why does the one person who should know your voice best, you, hear something completely different every time a recording plays back? Let's find out why right here on Simply Understood. To understand this strange disconnect, you first need to understand that you've never actually heard your own voice the way everyone else has. Not once, not ever. When you speak, sound travels through the air into your ears, just like it does for anyone listening to you. But at the exact same moment, something else is happening entirely inside your own head. As your vocal cords vibrate, those vibrations don't only travel outward through the air, they also travel inward through the bones, tissues, and fluids of your skull, directly toward your inner ear, a path sound only takes when it originates from inside your own body. This is called bone conduction, and it happens simultaneously with normal air conducted sound. Your brain doesn't separate these two signals, it blends them together seamlessly into a single experience without you ever realizing two entirely different pathways are involved. Here's where the deeper layer of the process reveals itself. Bone conduction doesn't transmit sound the same way air does. Dense material, like bone, tends to carry and even amplify lower frequencies more efficiently than higher ones. So every time you speak, the internal vibrations traveling through your skull emphasize the deeper, richer tones of your voice. Tones that never make it into a microphone at all, because a microphone only ever captures sound traveling through the air. That means the voice you've heard your entire life is actually a blend, a mixture of true air conducted sound and a bass heavy internal signal that only you can access, layered together so seamlessly that your brain never treats them as separate at all. Everyone else has only ever heard the air conducted version, the same version a recording captures. When you finally hear that pure, unfiltered version played back, it feels wrong, not because it's inaccurate, but because it's missing a layer of sound you've relied on since childhood without ever knowing it existed. This explains why the reaction is so consistent. It isn't that your recorded voice sounds bad, it's that your brain has spent decades calibrating itself to a version of your voice that literally cannot exist outside your own skull. No microphone, no speaker, no other human being has ever had access to that internal blend. In a very real sense, everyone around you has always heard your true voice while you've been living with a private, distorted preview. The psychological discomfort goes even deeper than acoustics. Hearing your recorded voice creates a small identity mismatch, forcing your brain to reconcile two different self images at once: a private internal version built over decades, and a public external version it's suddenly confronting for the first time. Studies on self perception suggest this is part of why people often describe recorded playback as cringeworthy, even when listeners find nothing unusual about it at all. The voice itself hasn't changed. Your access to it has simply been interrupted briefly by a machine that only ever had permission to hear half the story. This same gap between internal experience and external reality shows up elsewhere too, in how people react to photographs of their own face or videos of their own movements, each one stripped of the internal sensations that normally accompany them, revealing a version of yourself that the rest of the world has known all along. So the next time a recording catches you off guard, remember that you're not hearing something fake or broken. You're hearing, for a brief and disorienting moment, exactly what everyone else has heard all along: a voice that was always yours, just never quite the one you thought it was, carried through the air instead of through the quiet, hidden architecture of your own skull.